Hello everyone, Sandi here. Welcome. Today we are going to be looking at Good Mood decks, and this is a VR to Marine over at Waves of Your Soul. She created this tag a while ago, and I've wanted to do VR for ever since I saw that she posted that video. But a lot of things has been happening in my life recently, and I have not been in much of a video making mood lately, so I thought I would kickstart my videos again by focusing on something that puts me in a good mood. But this one was actually more difficult than I thought that it was going to be, because let's face it, most of my decks put me in a good mood, but I was trying to limit it a little bit so that we wouldn't be sitting here all day long. And I will be having quite a quick pace because most of these decks have been shown on my channel before, and most of you have probably seen these before as well. But without any further ado, let's just get started. I think we should start with this one. So this is the Tarot of the Magical Forest, which I have trimmed, and the reason why I picked this one as one of my good mood decks is because I just can't help but be really amused by these creatures in this deck. The wide-eyed stare just kind of amuses me so much. It makes me giggle, especially in a reading when they look so overdramatic. And yeah, I just, they make me laugh. And sometimes they also make my heart melt. So it's like, look at this Queen of Wands. She's just, she's just so adorable. And yeah, they make me laugh, they make me feel all the feels. This Temperance is adorable. And this Three of Cups looks like they're in some kind of occult ceremony. I don't know. It just, they crack me up, these guys. And yeah, that's why it earned a spot in my Good Mood decks. Alright, so next up, next up, I'll just take the next one in the line. This one, this is the fake version of the Lunar Lapping Tarot that I have shown you before in my How to Avoid Fakes video. And I am about to order the actual real version of this deck. This is a much smaller version. It's not the same size as a regular tarot card, of which I don't have any near to hand now, but never mind. These bunnies are very cute, and they put me in a good mood when they're laughing and dancing around, when they are having these cute little faces. Look at this Page of Pentacles. How can you not be in a good mood looking at that face? So I will, I've been saying this for half a year now, that I will be getting the real deck. However, I've been meaning to start reading with this deck, and I just haven't actually reached for it. So like I said, I was planning on getting the real deck this month, with this month's paycheck, I mean. But there's always another deck that intrigues me more, and since I have this and I haven't read with it, I don't know if it's because it's a fake that I don't like thought of reading with it. I don't know. Because it can't be the bunnies, obviously, because they are just adorable. And I actually bring out this deck quite often just to sit and look at this emperor's face. Oh, it's just the best. So it's just like, I love them. I love these little bunnies, and I think that I would love reading with this deck, but I haven't. And I think it's because I realized it was a fake, and now I just feel really guilty about having it. And yet I still keep showing it on my channel. But yeah, I didn't know that it was a fake when I ordered it, obviously. So in that way, and I can't move it on because I don't feel good about that either. So I mean, either I throw it in the bin or I use it. I should use it. I love these bunnies. I love them so much. I'm going to leave this deck out and I'm going to try and use it. And if I start using it a lot, then I am going to buy the real deck as soon as I can. As soon as I can. Actually, now I realize I remember I was about to order the real deck last month, and then I noticed that they don't actually sell just the deck anymore. They sell the deck with the Oracle cards, and that puts the price up to like nearly €100 for the deck and the Oracle deck in the bundle. But I didn't see the actual just the tarot deck anymore on the website, so that's why I haven't gotten it yet as well, because I'm not interested in the Oracle cards at all because there are only 22 of them. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Next up is the Folktales Oracle. Yes, let's just mix in oracles with the tarot, shall we? Because I'm unorganized. So the Folktales Oracle is by Hannah Willow, a lovely, lovely lady in the UK. And I had to include these cards because they're so beautiful and they just make me feel so good and serene when I'm using them and I see her artwork, and it's just gorgeous. So gorgeous. The deck comes unrounded, like the corners are not rounded, and I've corner rounded them and I've etched the cards in a light blue color. But yeah, it's got lots of bears, it's got lots of foxes and hares and owls and hedgehogs. So it's got all of my favorite animals, and I just had to include it in my Good Mood decks for this reason alone. Oh, look at this card. Yes, so this was the Folktales Oracle by Hannah Willow. All right, from one thing to the next, let's go with this one. So this is like on the opposite side of the spectrum. It is the Triomphe De La Luna by Patrick Valenza, and yes, I know, but still, this deck even makes me laugh out loud most of the time when I read with it. The characters in this just have something about them that just makes them endearing to me. They make me laugh. Like this guy always makes me laugh. His face is just so pompous and snarky. I can't. And this 9 of coins always just makes me in such a good mood. Look at this splendor. I love it so much. I've gushed about this deck several times on my channel, and you're probably going to have to, live through several more gushings in the future. But this 7 of coins as well. Like, makes me so happy. So, yeah. Even if some of them can be a little bit gruesome and a little bit it's just like this face as well. I mean, come on, I don't want, this is kind of yucky and horrible, but it's still, I don't know, there is something weird about this deck that just makes me look past all of the creepy and weirdness and just feel amused when I'm looking at them. this weirdo face on this fish. It's just, no, I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. It's just what it is, and this deck just puts me in a good mood. It just does. All right. Without thinking too much about it, let's go to another end of the spectrum. So the Happy Tarot, which I'm sure most people have shown in their good mood decks, probably. The Happy Tarot is just, pretty self-explanatory. Have not read too much with this deck, but still, every time I see it or use it, this puts you in a good mood in the traditional sense of the way. They're just happy and smiley, there's candy and clouds and things, ice cream everywhere, and even these sad cards, I mean, they don't shy away from the bad emotions at all. It's not like a hug deck in that sense. It's just, you kind of get the feeling that you're inside a Candyland or watching your favorite cartoon from when you were a child or something, looking at them, and all of these naked cherubs that are so happy that you nearly want to rip their face off. Oh, yeah. It's, I think it's a good moody deck, and also I love this little old lady here. There's not enough old ladies in tarot decks, in my opinion. Definitely not in this deck. I think that's the only old lady in the whole deck. I suppose that's an old man. But yeah, old people needs to be more represented in decks. I love reading with decks with old people in them because it just feels like I'm getting sage advice, and I just don't get that feeling from all of these decks that are just full of young, beautiful, perfect people. So yeah, that was the Happy Tarot and a tangent about my preferences in decks. But yes, Happy Tarot, good moods, yes. Come on. There we go. Tuck boxes. Alright, next up is The Secret of Wandwood, an enchanted woodland oracle by Phil and Jackie Lovesey. And this deck puts me in a good mood because of its quirky artwork, beautiful artwork. And the guidebook makes this deck absolutely fantastic. I mean, look at these creatures. They're so cute and so adorable most of the time. And I love the magical feel of this deck overall. I'm going to leave this out actually because it's got lots of really lovely autumn vibes in it. And yes, the little stories about each character in the guidebook is fantastic and always puts me in a good mood when I read from this guidebook. So this just so happy I backed this on Kickstarter. But this deck can still be purchased. They have a Etsy shop, I believe, and all of their previous decks can also be bought from there, along with a bunch of other merchandise with this artwork on it. So yes, this was The Secrets of Wandwood the one and only deck I have so far of Phil and Jackie Loveseer from this world that they've created. But I think there's at least 2 other oracles that has been released by them from before. Alright, so the next one, let's do this one. Spiritual AF, 99 inspirational cards for people who fucking need some inspiration. So this deck I actually picked up after seeing it on Peggy's, one of Peggy Papez's pick a pile readings that she's done on Lisa's channel, I believe. And I bought this because I was going to just take them to work and draw a card whenever I felt like I needed a chuckle if I was getting too stressed. And this here is this is my favorite card, I think, because this one, it's like an inside joke in at home here, because whenever there's a moon on the sky, I go to Michael, my partner. Oh, Michael, look at the moon. And he always just goes, yes, it's the moon. He's not interested in the moon at all. But every single time, I just like, oh, look at the moon. I drew this one and it just says, look at the fucking moon. I laughed so I nearly cried. It was a mood that day. And then there's this artworks on one side, or artwork, the quote. And then on the back it says, just look at that thing. It's lovely AF, right? You're welcome. So, it's like a little inspirational quote, or whatever you should call it. And yeah. And it's a bit rude, so it just kind of takes you off guard sometimes. But dance like everyone else can go fuck themselves. And on the back it says, we cut ourselves off from joy far too often because we worry that what other people will think of us. Take a moment today to look around and silently tell everyone to go fuck themselves, then dance. So it's just, I don't use this deck very often at all. But I kind of... When I'm in that special mood, when I might be a little bit angry or sad, well, maybe not sad. I don't tend to go to this when I'm sad. More like when I'm angry at the world or something's pissed me off. Then I tend to reach for this one. Just pull out a card and reflect on the message. Oh, and yeah, I mean, I'm not a big swearer. I don't think. I used to be more. I try not to swear too much unless it's really warranted. But especially since my niece was born, we've been a little bit more conscious about how much we are swearing, so that we won't accidentally start teaching her some really rude words to take back to daycare. So, and she's at that age now where she just picks up everything, like every little thing. So yeah, we've really stayed on this one for so long now, but this one makes me in a good mood, but because it's also reminds me of Peggy and helps me channel her energy when I'm in need of some Peggy wisdom. Right, next one up, let's go for this one, Forest Fae by Nadia Turner. This one makes me in a good mood because I've loved Nadia Turner's artwork, gosh, long before she started doing any kind of oracle deck work, really. I actually remember commenting on her Instagram saying, you really should be doing some oracle decks or tarot decks, and now we're getting both. I'm so happy. So yeah, these characters just put me in a good mood because they're so cute. They also, I don't know what it is, it's just a quality with her artwork that's really just suits me and hits in all the right places. This is kind of a world I would like to be real. I want these creatures to be real. I want to meet these creatures. And yeah. So cute. I mean, I wish everybody could walk around dressed like this. It would be such an interesting world. Oh, this, I love her so much, the troll fae. Follow the secret signs, as treasures can be found where you least expect them. I love her. All right, so that was Forest Fae by Nadia Turner. In this cute little box with this adorable backs, and I've edged it in a coppery metallic marker. Love me mini decks. All right, moving on. Let's go for Mon's Tarot by Joanna Nelson. This one is super new to me. I don't think I've even done a walkthrough of this yet. No, I haven't. And I still haven't read with it, to be honest. But I have to include it because honestly, you know, guys, do I have to explain why this is putting me in a good mood? I think this one mostly puts me in a good mood because it reminds me both of Lisa Papez, and it reminds me of Krista, my dear friend, who also loves this deck. And it also actually reminds me a little bit of myself, as in when I was a teenager, I actually used to draw characters that were very similar to this, with these big eyes, these like little creatures, monsters, and they always had these like twirly shoes as well. So they just remind me a lot about the kind of art I used to express myself at one point in my life, and that makes it really special to me. Like I think I actually even have something that looks really similar to this. Like he was purple and he had these shoes, and yeah, I need to try and see if I can even find those anymore, or have they just disappeared when my mum sold our house? I don't know. Anyway, these creatures, these little monsters, are adorable and definitely puts me in a good mood just like looking at the deck like this. Since I haven't read with it yet, I don't know how much of a good mood it's going to give me while reading with it. It might be really harsh, you never know. But from what I've heard about this deck, I think it does give you some harsh truths, this deck, but it does it in a gentle way. So yeah, I am looking forward to starting a journey with this deck. And I'm so happy that I managed to get it in the travel size, because it's the perfect size for my little hands. Perfect size. All right, so that was, the Mon's Tarot by Joanna Nelson. Poof. How much can I struggle with this, honestly? There we go. Alrighty then, what shall we pick next? Let's go for this one. Ta-da! Orgasm Thorn. So this one is actually my very first Kickstarter that I ever backed. And I have pre-ordered the mini version because I read with this one so seldom because it's so thick and such a hassle for me to shuffle. So sad to say. But this deck still gives me a very, very good mood. I love this artwork so much. Adam Ohlers, love all of his artwork. This is still the only deck of his that I've got though, but I am really looking forward to the Orgasm Thorn Oracle that is on its way. And I'm also looking forward to the third installment in this 3 Trees Tarot series that they're making. There's a third one coming, and it's going to be centered around a woodland cottage, and it sounds amazing. If you have not subscribed to Stephanie Burrows' newsletter, you definitely should, so that you can read all about it, because it sounds amazing. But yes, back to this deck. It's just, I love all the colors. The colors make me happy. I love the creatures and the depictions. I love that it's a forest and woodland animals, because that's just my jam all the way. Hares, hedgehogs, squirrels, foxes. I've put this in order at some point. Let's go. Crows. It's just so good. So good. And yes, makes my heart sing every time I use this deck. And I need to use it more, and I will when I get the little version as well. My favourite hermit of all time. Hedgehogs are the best. I definitely think this is my favourite card in the whole deck as well. So that was the Orgasm Thorn by Stephanie Burrows and Adam Ohlers. And that's spelled like so. Alright. What next? Let's go for... Let's go for this one. Ta-da! This is the... Do you recognize the bag? The bags. Joie de Vivre. By Paulina Cassidy. And yes, love this deck. Partly, back up. This deck puts me in a good mood. 1, because I've trimmed it and it now is a perfect fit for my hands. 2, love the edge job. 3, the creatures in this are cute. They all have their own names, and the guidebook is surprisingly good. And this deck puts me in a good mood because the creatures are so unique. They make me think, and challenge me to see all the details. I love this. Look at these little flowers, right? She's surrounded by flowers, okay? But then when you look closely, there's little birds in each flower, and each bird or creature in the flower, there's more than birds, have something in their beaks or mouths that they are offering to this person. It's just... There's so many little details, and I love that about Paulina's artwork. And there's a snail down there. Love that. There's just something new to discover in these cards every time. And the little creatures, look at this little thing that's balancing there in the background with the balloon. Love it so much. And this peacock here has a letter in its beak. Like there's just so much to look at this little rat or whatever it is sitting on that branch there having having attitude. I just yeah, always love this deck. Astronaut mouse for the 8 of Wands. I mean, yes. Yeah. Definitely transports me into this weird little world that just puts me in a good mood. Puss in Boots. Yeah. So, that was Joie de Vivre by Paulina Cassidy, or Paulina Fay as she goes by sometimes, or now. Definitely one of my good mood decks. Now, I have a few decks coming in soon that probably could be added to the good moods, but I didn't want to wait. And I'm not going to reveal what they are now. I might do another, like a part 2. Marine did, so I can. Alright, let's go for this one next. So this you've seen before, and I'm so sorry to drag it up again. But this is my very special and coveted Victorian Fairy Tarot. So this is out of print, so sorry. And actually I've seen quite a few of them go around lately. But I paid quite a hefty price. This used to be a mass market deck, and now it's been out of print for quite a while. And I managed to find a copy of it from a lovely, lovely lady in the Netherlands. And this deck still smells amazing. It came smelling like just nostalgia and grandmother. I don't know. And I just love it so much. And this deck, even though it's very, balanced, we have both dark and light scary cards and happy cards and melancholic cards, and it's a very good deck, portraying all kinds of ages as well. Sadly not a lot of diversity, but I suppose that's because it's, the Victorian fairy tarot. It's set in England in the Victorian times. So, it is what it is. But I just... these stupid fairies bullying these hedgehogs. So yes, even if it does, elicit some feelings, I love this high priestess, the seeress in this deck. She's just so funny. Yeah, this deck, good moods all around. Love it so much. Just makes me so happy just holding this deck in my hands. So that's the Victorian Fairy Tarot by Linnea Weatherstone and Gary L. Lippincott. In this little pouch that I made for it, and I love it so much. These bluebells took me bloody ages to make. Oh, never mind. All right, let's go for this one. This is the Spun Tarot. Oh, and now I can't remember the creator's name. Oh, silly me. I want to say Linda, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna put it in the. I'm gonna edit it into the screen, so you don't have to wonder. But this deck is so adorable. I love it to bits, and it makes me in a good mood to use this deck. It just does. I love that it's, it's a Rider-Waite-Smith clone. Very, you can tell what each card is. It's just that it's with animals instead of humans. And, I mean, come on. Ugh, so good. So freaking good. I love this deck so much, and it just puts me, it's a good mood deck. Pure and simple. Makes my heart go, oh! It makes me laugh and chuckle. Then there are some weird cards with some just human hands, but I ignore those. But yeah, this King of Swords. Look at his face. This Hermit makes my heart melt. This Three of Cups is just, so good. My favorite of all time. 10 of Wands is also in this deck. This is a humorous Hierophant, if anything. This High Priestess is everything. This star card, best star card. I mean, supposedly ever in the history of time, in my opinion. Where is it? I want to show you. Look at this amazing Four of Swords with the otter. Badges. It's going to be last, isn't it? It's going to be last. Look at this Page of Pentacles with the little golden retriever. Earring. No, that's another beaver, but he's also good. This Six of Cups is also just, so adorable. Here we go. 10 of Wands with the beaver trying to carry all of the sticks at once. And here we have a lovely Fool, the Capybara, the Magician. So good. So freaking good. Here, the Sun card. This card just makes me so happy. It's just the best Sun card, I think, ever. Yeah. Love this deck to bits. Heartspun Tarot. By a creator whose name I should remember, but I don't because I'm bad. I'm bad. So, that was that. Now we have one more deck to show you, and this is one of my newest Good Mood decks. One of the decks that have proved to be super important to me already, and that is the Tarot of Curious Creatures by Chrysanne. This is my one and only Chrysanne deck. I don't have any other. I don't plan to get any other. This one is enough for me, and I tell you for why. This deck, I hesitated and wasn't going to get this deck for the longest time because I thought, no, I just don't think this deck is for me. I got annoyed a little bit with that there wasn't any body diversity. It was just skinny people bodies, which annoyed me a little bit. But then I started thinking, Sandra, you can't just keep. This is a creatures deck. It's animal heads on human-like bodies, I suppose, and I just needed to let it go, and I'm so glad that I did. Because turns out I love this deck. I love this deck so much. I love it because it's very imaginative in how the cards are depicted. I love the colors. The colors are amazing in this deck. The creatures make me laugh. The readings it gives is very spot on. The guidebook is fantastic. And actually here we have a little bit more of a plus-sized woman, I suppose, or body, I suppose. Not much though. But still, I mean, it's just, I'm focusing on the faces most of the time anyway, which are animals. And I love the attitude in this deck. I love this card so much. Oh, and like I said, I think the colors is what gets to me in this deck. They are intense and varied, and it's just every color of the rainbow in here. And I love this Queen of Cups so much. Yeah. And I haven't had any interest in any of Chris Ann's other decks, but I really wanted to, you know, have one of her guidebooks because I've heard her guidebooks are really good. And, I mean, this guidebook did not disappoint. This one always makes me chuckle. And honestly, this deck, just I've done like, 4 or 5 readings with this deck so far, and they've all been really intense and on point, and yeah, so happy that I decided to get this. Also, people have been complaining about the cardstock, so I was for the longest time deciding not to get this deck, but you know guys, I am not complaining about this cardstock, not one little bit. I'm not a riffle shuffler, so that might be why I have no problem with this deck cardstock. I love this 9 of Pentacles. But yeah, I think the cardstock is great actually. I mean, it's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst either. I think it's just okay. And yeah, love this card. So that was the last deck, the Tarot of Curious Creatures by Chris Ann. Such a nice tag, this. And now I'm in a really good mood, having gone through all of my good mood decks. And where did I put the box? There. And so, yes, thank you so much to Marie for creating this tag, and thank you to all of you who decided to watch till the end. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you're doing well. And as always, please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.